What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Bofina1, bringing you guys another YouTube video. And today I wanted to discuss a little bit more about in terms of a job, and I know this is like a little bit kind of off topic, but because I have an internship and I basically went from working, let's say, this type of job where I was working with kids and working with more so working with kids, to now it's like, okay, I'm working with engineers, data statisticals, analytics, making reports, having to send things out in a certain time frame, having to be a part of a lot of conference calls, and in a sense, basically being in corporate America, right? And so for me, I always wanted to, like, as a kid, or just in general, like when you're in school, you're always like, oh, I can't wait to be done with school. I can't wait to move on. I can't wait, to evolve, and can't wait to see what it's like to work in a corporate environment. And I'll tell you, it's a lot different. And I know some of you that watch this are probably like, well, yeah, I already knew that. But some of you don't maybe work corporate jobs, where you have to get dressed up, where you have a lot of conference calls, where you have to do a lot of reports. Depending on what your job is, everyone's job is different. You could still be making good money, but you just may have a different format or a different, what they call a culture, in terms of the type of job that you're working. And so for me, the challenges that I have faced while being here is, like, one, getting up in the morning. I discussed it in an earlier video, waking up at 6 a.m. versus, waking up at 9. My job is like 18 miles from my house versus my other job was like 4 miles, so the difference in driving, it takes me, when I have to be at work at 6 a.m., it takes me about 35 minutes to get there and about 50 minutes to get back home, because I'm getting back home in traffic. When I leave, I'm coming home in traffic. So, just having all these different variables of, experiencing what the work life really is, because when you're in school, right, school is so theory based. Everything is so theory. It's like, theoretically, if this was to happen, this is what the end result would be, right? But in the workforce, everything is practical. Like, you have to know how to do, it has to be applicable. You have to know what to do when this happens. Boom, 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 boom. You have to know. And so, for me, it's an eye opener, like I was never the kid that wanted to rush to grow up. I was never that girl that was like, oh, I can't wait till I get grown. I was never that person. I always try to enjoy things as they come. But now hearing my parents say that, and like just people say it in general, it sinks in more when you actually get a little small snippet or a little taste of what it's like to be in a corporate job, where you have to, be cautious of your etiquette. You have to be cautious of how you dress. You need to be cautious of stuff you say. You need to be cautious of, just a lot of stuff that you wouldn't have to be concerned with at another job. And it's a great opportunity. I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just getting on here, kind of, in a sense, giving you guys, I guess you could say, like, an update of what's been going on in my life, but at the same time, letting you guys know that don't rush to grow up, because, not saying that a job sucks, but like I always say, the more money you make, the more responsibilities. I'm making more money at this job than I made at my other job. Not gonna say the amount, but I'm making more. And that's typically how it goes. The more money you make, a lot of time you have more responsibilities. There's more things that are expected of you because you're making more money. It's almost kind of like, if, let's just say, hypothetically, right, someone's making $50 an hour, and then let's say someone's making $10 an hour. Well, I would think that the person that's making $50 an hour probably is gonna have more responsibilities than the person making $10 an hour. Not to say that their job is not, one's not as important, but maybe one requires more skills. Maybe one requires them to have a trade. Maybe the other one doesn't. Maybe one requires them to have a degree. Maybe the other one does, so certain things like that. And it's a really big eye opener, because a lot of time when you're in school, like I said, you think, oh, I hate school. It's all this like classwork and it's homework. You're not doing homework for 8 hours a day. You may be like struggling around finals time a little bit, but you're not stressing that, you're not doing work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. You're not doing homework. You're not in class all that time. You don't get 3 months of vacation. Like I get almost 3.5 months for summer vacation. You don't get a month off for break, or a month and a half for winter break. You don't get those things. You might get 2 or 3 weeks off the whole year while you're working. A vacation. It's just a big difference. And I was one of those people, I was kind of like anti-internship, and I was anti, like, oh, I don't think I shouldn't be concerned about an internship. Internships are this, internships are that. But now actually being in a real internship, I see how important that it really is. You make a lot of connections. You get a chance to see what it's like to be in that field. So when you go in there, it's not just like, oh, this is so like different. So basically when I get done with this internship, and let's say I do apply for somewhere else, it won't be awkward. It won't be, like abnormal, because I would have gotten a chance of, oh, well, I know what to expect, you know. And it allows me to see what it's like in the real world, you know. And I'm happy, you know. Like, I mean, it's been rough in a sense these past 3 weeks, because I'm trying to adjust everything, but at the same time there's a lot of perks, like about the job. You know, you're learning stuff, you're actually doing something in your major, versus like other jobs you have, you're probably not doing stuff that's in your major. You're not really learning stuff that you should be learning in your major. And so that's why I say that I feel like anybody, whether it's volunteer, whatever, you know, community service, unpaid internship, paid internship, you should take the opportunity to get that real work experience. Because if anything, even if I don't decide to stay with this company, right? Like let's say maybe, you know, I don't want to stay with them, hypothetically, right? You'll have it on your resume. So that means that now you're just that much more marketable to getting a job. Because now, let's say the college student that graduated that doesn't have any like internship experience or nothing, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to get a job. You'll have that like flashing on your resume. So that's gonna push you up right to the top. So, you know, it's just something to think about. I know this is not typically like my usual channel content, but I just kind of wanted to get on here and I guess kind of give like a Bofina Ones, you know, life lesson, I guess you could say, because I think it's something that people don't take seriously. People don't think about, I think, as much. People kind of just like, oh, you know, I'll get it or whatever. But like when you come out of school, it's like you don't have those connections. You don't have anything. You know, you're out there competing with how many other thousands of college graduates that are trying to get a job just like you know. And not to say that, oh, I'll just get a job instantly just because I got the internship, but I'm saying that it may push me above other people that may not have no experience, put it like that. So yeah, guys, that's just my rant of, you know, basically a college student having an internship and what it's like, some of the stuff that I've experienced, some of the exciting things, maybe even some of the bad things, but overall it's a good cause. And you know, I'm only there for 2 months and a week because I started another job. I accepted somewhere else, but then, you know, I gave 2-week notice and now I'm here. So you just do the best you can do, and that's all you can do. But at the same time, you know, internships are important. Now I see why they're so important. I never used to believe people. I used to think they were just lying, but now I see why they're important. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll chat with you later. Peace.